Rangers and Liberties of Beetle Vale. Welcome to the inaugural episode and possibly the only episode of what we're going to call Crafting with Beetle Vale. Now, what is this about? This is about us making stuff and showing you how to make stuff so that you can make stuff in a way that we've made stuff. Make sense? With me so far? That's good. Right, so some of you may be aware of a thing that we did recently, which was called the Beetle Vale American Football Fantasy League, the B.V.A.F.F.L for short, and also for simplicity. And recently there was a winner declared of this. The winner was a certain Matthew Mitchell of Beetle Vale fame, and as promised a couple of weeks ago on a certain podcast, I said that I would be making a Victor's Trophy and I will also be making a Loser's Trophy. We have yet to decide names for the trophies, but those will be signed in due course once something suitably offensive or funny has been come up with.
Get it done.
And then the trophies will be presented to the winner and loser of the B.V.A.F.F.L. So without further ado, having done the introduction, we'll do the video on how to make these spectacular trophies. And I'm sure you'll be very impressed with how they look at the end of the video. So, here we go. Won't you join me in the crafting room, please? So welcome to the crafting room. If you'd like to join me, we'll go to the crafting table, and from there we'll go through what we've got to work with and what we're going to do with those things. 1 second. So, welcome to the crafting table. Here is where all the stuff is that we're going to be using to make our magnificent trophies. And before we begin, the first thing that we're going to be using is the tissue paper, which came with my wife's new shoes that she bought because, well, she bought some new shoes and we needed something to do this with. Because, you know, crafting is a messy business. So, here we go. Excellent, it's a good start. I feel this may be a little bit rustly for our purposes, and I hope that it doesn't really distort the audio, but we'll find out later, of course. Now, the main part of the trophy is clearly going to be the wooden spoon, and then also with it is going to be PVA glue, which is going to be very critical to the actual decorating of the spoons. So some of that. Of course, glitter as well for the decorating. That is very important for the Victor again. And also tin foil, another important factor for the Victor. We've also got some further decorating to have here from the Sharpie, which is good, and also we have some non-branded milk drink. Not fridge. Yep. Some non-branded milk drink, which will be the body of the trophy, as we can see here. Chosen for its both elegant design and ability to be not taller than the spoon. Obviously, we do have an issue here before we can start decorating where we need to dispose of the milk drink, so if you bear with me for a further second, we'll just deal with that. Gluten-free. I literally just got a phone call. That was a very important phone call. I'm glad that I took it just before I did this. That was good timing. Ugh. Okay, so now that that's over with, we also have a large box of crafting supplies that my wife has collected over the years for various projects that I don't know if she ever completed, but we have anyway. So I think there's a paintbrush in there, which is why I don't have one here now. But I will need a paintbrush for applying the PVA glue. And you may all like to know that all of these supplies can be purchased from your local Tesco Express. I know because that's where I just bought them from. So, we'll begin then with the I suppose the spoon of champions, or whatever we're going to call this thing. Now, I did text a good teacher friend of mine, someone that works with children all the time, because he's a teacher, and he said that the best way to go about applying tinfoil, which is going to be our base is to cover the spoon with glue and then apply the tinfoil on top of it, leaving time to dry, and then it should be, as I called it, silver plated. So we'll see how that goes. Just let's should we do one of those sort of things where I maybe talk over the top of this and my hands go really fast and you watch it going up and down and I'm gluing it all over the place, and by the time that I've finished speaking, then the plating is all done. Because this is obviously arts and crafts, it may interest you to know that this is the I have no fucking clue what I'm doing stroke method of applying PVA glue. I'm also aware that supposedly you are supposed to use different PVA to water or washing up liquid consistencies whilst you're doing this sort of thing. But again, this is more a sort of I don't know what the fuck I'm doing technique, so I'm just sticking it on. I'm sure the guy from Art Attack will probably be turning in his grave if he's not in prison for paedophilia, which is where most of the children's TV presenters seem to go these days. It all seems grand, doesn't it? If we just do that. So, as you join us here, coming out of the fast forward animation that I've been dubbing myself, what I'm doing now is I'm just going to go back over the head of the spoon again, because we've got this little wooden exterior still poking out, so we'll just make it a double header. Neil something or other, I think his name was, Mr. Art Attack. I'm sure someone will, because this video is going to be on YouTube, I'm sure someone who has very lots of time on their hands will be able to tell me in the comments section, because everyone on YouTube is right about everything, even if the 3 people above them will also write with a totally different answer. And that is a thing of beauty, worthy of any fantasy football champion. So, we'll now look at the placing it into its mount. So obviously, I suppose this is going to require actually tinfoiling as well. Didn't really think about that, but we'll do that as well now.
La 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 la. This is my musical monologue.
Okay, so whilst the bass drum, didn't think this part through either. This is probably the parental supervision segment of the show, where nothing untoward happens, but people who produce shows are concerned that small people will hurt themselves. But I feel like we have achieved all of our goals with this hole. Let's see. No, we've not. We need a bigger hole. I'm not gonna bring the episode down with vulgar queries regarding Owen's mother at this stage, because this is, I mean, that's just marvellous. Since we don't know exactly if we screw this on. Nice and tight. Drop this down, and there we go. Now, who wouldn't want this on their mantelpiece? Well, it's a trick question, you see, because we're not done yet. Now, is the time for, well, what we've all been waiting for basically. We're going to glitter. So from what I understand with glitter, what we do is we sort of, put a smattering of glue everywhere. Let's just break out the glitter. This is a pack of 4 colours: red, blue, silver, but the only colour we're interested in is gold, because gold is for winners, and as we've already said, this is for winners. Now, the technique I'm using here is just whacking it on. I'm just whacking it on. It's a well-known technique that's used by many different artists across many different styles of art, and I feel it applies just as well in this situation as any other situation. So if we then, you may notice that there is a bit of a preference here for either the front or the back of the trophy, and that's purely because that's where I put the glue. If you had chosen to stick the glue onto either of the sides, then that's probably also where we would have glitter, but this is my trophy and I'm going to decorate it how I want. So, we will tap off the excess, and that looks to me like a trophy. Now I'm now literally just crafting on the fly here. I've just had an idea.
Let's learn how to play a rock and roll rhythm. Rock and roll is very simple, just 4 counts, and on every count, play the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the first beat and the third beat, play the bass drum. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And on the second and fourth, play the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is rock and roll.
One here. And there we go. And final touches now, I promise. Put them there. And a bit under there. It doesn't really matter if you're getting glitter into your glue. It's like I always say, a bit of glitter in the glue is a bit of fun in the future. And voila! Birmingham Bears, well, congratulations to the Birmingham Bears, the champions of the 2014-2015 Beetle Vales American Football Fantasy League. This trophy will be presented to you on Super Bowl day, when I will be going down to see the manager of Birmingham Bears, Matthew Mitchell. So we'll just put that to the side there. I don't know whether you will have noticed or not, but the unfortunately, just after finishing the magnificent trophy that you see before you here for the Birmingham Bears, the timer ran out on the camera, and we missed the construction. I didn't notice the camera gone. We missed the construction of the last place prize, the trophy, which has yet to be named, but will be awarded this year to the Bedfordshire Bulls. Or the manager of the Bedfordshire Bulls. That will be Sam Teague. That will be coming to you in the post, using the ever so helpful collapsible method, most likely. So I'll need your address, please, sir. Now, because we missed that, I'll just quickly make another trophy for you. This is perhaps myself, because I am that good. And this is basically just another idea, because we're doing this crafting episode, just an idea for if you are at home and you're having a little Ludo tournament, or Baccarat or Dominoes even, and you suddenly decide, oh, we need to declare a winner here and we need to show our appreciation to this winner with a small trophy. If you don't want something on this industrial scale, or you don't want to take time and effort and care to make something as glorious as this, and you just maybe want something that you can just throw away in 5 minutes, well, let me show you here how to make a quick trophy. This is one that I learned to make. I was actually taught how to make this by a bear, a cartoon bear, and I've never forgotten this skill, even though I was taught when I was about 5 years old. So basically all you're going to need for this is the tin foil and your fist. So basically, yeah, that seems to be about the right length. Tear that off. And then you take your fist so. And then where your fist ends, you put a twist in. And then with what remains, you flatten that out. And then obviously you just sculpt where your fist was, so it's more cup shaped. I've made a slight error here in that I've gone the wrong way, and I should use the flat edge to make the top of the cup. But nevertheless, as you can see, that was approximately 30 seconds, and I have what is most definitely recognisable as a trophy. And if you spent maybe even 45 seconds on this, then you would have something that would look even more like a trophy. And the very excellent part about this trophy is that you can actually, because it's tin foil, you can actually drink from it. So if we have a look at this, "100% foolproof." And as I said, something which you can use to spicing up your championship parties at home, or whatever it is that you're doing. And yeah, thanks for joining us on this inaugural episode of Crafting with Beetle Vale. I hope it's been informative. I know that you've enjoyed seeing these two delightful trophies being construction, plus your bonus feature. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you again for another Crafting with Beetle Vale. If not, keep your eyes on other stuff that we do. And looking further into the future, remember that the Beetle Vale American Football Fantasy League, the B.V.A.F.F.L, will be back with you this time. Not this time, but sometime in this coming year, later on in this year. And we'll also be running other fantasy leagues throughout the year as well. So keep your eye on that, and we'll tell you about it, and we'll see you all later.